Well, it's been a bit of a wild news week, as you can see, folks, and I appreciate you staying with us here. But in light of having a new speaker, it's time to have a real discussion on what at least I want to see from the people who are confiscating 50% of my paycheck. Look, I actually do try to look at all of your tweets that you send me, and one of the things that a lot of you are saying out there is that, oh, pundits do a lot of criticizing. We do. But you also accuse us of not having much of a solution. I have actually offered a number of solutions over the last few years, especially since we took the House. But for the record, here's what I'd like to see. Here's my plan. What I would like to get from the party who has made some pretty lofty campaign promises, first and foremost, I don't want another stopgap CR continuing resolution, guys. You have had, I don't know, almost a year to figure this out. You need to lock yourselves in the chamber. I'd be fine if you use some taxpayer money to order some Chick-fil-A or whatever just to get the job done. That would cost a lot less than the price of another CR. I really don't care if you miss spending the holidays with your family. You waited this long to figure something out. Get it done. Second, I want this to be non-negotiable, by the way. Anything passed must include a plan and funding for a complete and total closure of the border. The Department of Education, they get $300 billion, and they can't point to a single thing that they've made better. In fact, most of the places they are pouring money into seem to get worse. Like here. How do you have all of the students fail? It was $79 million. You should be able to hire a private tutor for each and every single kid. I say you slash that entire budget, give it right to the border. I'm cool with that. How about stop funding foreign wars without a plan? Ukraine isn't making any headway in over a year with $100 billion of our dollars. Sorry, no more cheddar for you guys. Oh, and slap a line in that budget for an audit of that too. In fact, I want every dollar of the $300 billion we dole out in foreign aid to be zeroed out. If other countries want our aid, we need to know how we will be compensated as Americans for that. Local resources, military presence in the country, or whatever, trade credits, whatever it may be. I'm tired of dumping trillions of dollars in American lives into a place like Afghanistan, only for China to come in when we leave and take $1 trillion of lithium out of there. No more free rides on the backs of taxpayers. And while we're at it, how about a balanced budget?
And say you want a term limits vote. You want a balanced budget.
We need a balanced budget amendment to the U.S. Constitution.
By balancing the budget in 7 years.
He said he was going to balance the budget, and you watched it on this network closely. Added $6 trillion to the national debt.
Nearly every Republican campaigns on balancing the budget and being more fiscally responsible, but very few, or at least not enough to make a difference, ever actually do it. Now is the time to do that. I also want Joe Biden's crime stuff, all these hearings, on full display. I want every single aspect of this entire thing tried in the public eye. Let it all out there. Joe, if there's nothing to hide, you shouldn't have any objection to this, right? No? Thought not. In that vein, since I think sunlight is probably the best medication for fixing anything political, I want a line-by-line, digital, searchable funding apparatus built into the next bill where anyone, you, me, your mom, brother, sister, whatever, can look up where every single penny is going and who proposed it and why. If there's a bunch of funding being proposed for some, I don't know, a new vaccine somewhere, I want to know who proposed it. And if they received any donations for big pharma lobbyists, I can cross-check that. After all, it's our money. We should be enforcing that of, by, and for the people thing, huh? You know, another thing that actually bothers me, these bills are like 3,000 pages. Let's dissuade that from ever happening again. And there's Rand Paul, he does this every year. How about some new rules, Mr. Speaker, that any bill prior to being voted on must be read in its entirety on the floor and live streamed, and anyone who wants to vote on it or have their vote counted as a member of Congress must be present for all of the reading in its entirety. I would bet my backside that the next bill would be a lot shorter. These people, they work like 4 days a week in Congress. And work, we'll say. You think they want to sit through 3,000 pages of earmarks on shrimp running on treadmills for $3 million? No, of course not. Lastly, someone has got to get the conversation started on entitlements. I know this is politically unpopular, but you guys already have like an 18% approval rating. It can't get much lower. I need an adult to stand up and say, hey guys, This is unsustainable. We got to fix it. Look, maybe the answer is raising the age recipients. Maybe it's, people do live longer. Maybe it's moving the structure to a 401k style system for anyone under whatever designated age. But if we don't do something, that program is going to go bust. My last thing, though, and this would kind of be like the cherry on top, maybe tie in some conditional funding to move the departments out of D.C. I mean, real estate is a lot cheaper outside of D.C. I've proposed some of this before. Maybe try moving the Department of Interior actually to the interior. DHS maybe down to the southern border, since that's their job. Not doing a great job at it. Why don't you ship Pete Buttigieg and his transpo folks over to the middle of LA's I-5 traffic? They might fix some infrastructure then. How about we move the FBI? Highest crime city in America. Chicago would do just fine. I'm just spitballing here, but this is some of the things that I would suggest might unswampify some stuff. A lot of these are pipe dreams, but not unreasonable. Look, when Democrats are in charge, they propose some pretty outlandish stuff, and they know they will never get it approved, but they use it as a bargaining chip. Republicans got to learn how to negotiate. We take in just under, $5 trillion in tax revenue a year? How about we start at zero and work our way up? Make every department justify every single dollar they need and why. Don't just give them the same amount of money plus X% every year. Republicans have the power to shut everything down until there's a solution, and maybe it's time to do that. What do you guys got to lose? Herpes has a higher approval rating than Congress. Some of this stuff would actually make me excited to vote for the member of Congress line in my next election. So what do you say?